Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar on your legal policies and your policy groups. If we have not met before, my name is Marie Baldwin, and I am the training specialist here at Jackrabbit. And then today in the background, we have the girls that are going to be there just answering any questions as I'm going along. I will try my hardest to try to come back and forth and look at both of the screens and answer any questions live that I can. So I'm just going to go over a few housekeeping items really quickly, just to give some people that might be a little bit late getting in a chance to log on. So first of all, just a little bit of quick housekeeping. This is automatically recorded, and Lauren will be sending out an email the day after tomorrow. You can use the chat on the right-hand side to ask questions, like Joshua just said, howdy from Fargo. You can also minimize the chat if you want to make the screen bigger. Once I start presenting and doing my screen share, my camera will go off, so the screen will get a little bit bigger. And then in the top right of your screen on the blue section, you will see an arrow that kind of points to the right, and that will just close out that chat and make everything else a little bit bigger for you. If you run into any connection issues, you can always hit F5 or even just click on refresh on your browser. As well, if you are on Wi-Fi and you do run into any connection issues, we do recommend that you close out as many tabs as you can. I totally get it that most of us have probably a mazillion tabs running all the time. And that is it for that part. And then the next part, I just want to talk about connecting with us. Oh my gosh, what people from everywhere. Oklahoma, Arizona, New York, Texas, awesome. Oh, we have Canadians in the house. Rebecca and I are both from Canada. So to start with, you can always connect with us through your database, reaching out to support. You can send in a chat, you can send in a ticket, and you can also request a phone call. So some of you may be wondering, especially if you were newer, what kind of is the difference? Chat, if you can ask it basically in one sentence and you feel like it's an in and out kind of situation, that is the best opportunity for chat. If it's something that you're probably like struggling to research or find, you would be best off to send in a ticket, and that way you can add any screenshots, any extra information that will help the people in support research and get your answer. And then with a phone call, they are all done over Zoom, and no, you do not have to be on camera. Some people like to, but we are not on camera for Zooms. You do not have to be on camera, but it just gives the opportunity for your support rep and you to be in your specific database at the same time, and then they can go over things with you. As well, from within Jackrabbit, you have access to our resource center. And in the resource center, there is just a wealth of information and links. There's links to training, there's links to marketing webinars, there's links to just extra help videos that you might want to take advantage of. And then next is our Jackrabbit training system, which you can get to by going into our help center. And this is a self-paced, self-guided training system. So whether you are brand new to Jackrabbit, or even if you are an owner and you have a new person coming on, possibly, like I know a lot of people for September over the summer, you may be hiring new people, then you can sign them up, have them do that. You will get email alerts. They actually get a certificate when they're done. And you can actually even break it down if they're like just a front desk person, or if you're a supervisor or a manager, there's different levels of that self-paced training that you can go to. And then as well, which I part manage, the Facebook users group. So we might get a lot of requests after this. But if you are not, please join our Facebook users group. Just search Jackrabbit Facebook users within Facebook, and just give us your either user ID or your login. One thing to note is that some people on Facebook have a different name than what they have within Jackrabbit, and we do check every single person to ensure that they are a Jackrabbit user. So if you do happen to have one of those different names, or possibly even recently got married, then just make sure to let us know that. And I'm just quickly looking in the chat. Oh, Swim Mac, I believe you guys know Bethany. Oh, thank you. Rebecca just added the link in the chat there for the Facebook group. And who we got here else? Oh, Beverly is in Florida. Nice. We got Peggy in Edmonton. Awesome. Okay. So what are we going over today? So first of all, today we're going to be talking about your policies. So what basically is the advantage of having this policy? So it helps to set expectations for your classes. You can customize waivers for different classes. So for example, your rec classes, your comp classes, or even your camps, if you have your camps set up as classes. Parents only see the policies that relate to the classes that their own students are enrolled in. So as an example, if I have a student that is only in rec classes, I am not going to see policies or have to agree to policies for my competition team or for costumes, recitals, etc. And you can create a group of policies so that you can sign it on a class level, which gives you much more easier management. And then as well, you can prompt your parents to agree to new policies or policy versions when they log into the parent portal. So not only at the time of registration, if you update your policies, which we're going to go into, and I'll show you that in just a little bit, but then the next time that they log in, right away off the bat, they will be triggered to agree to their new policies. So it'll be just 1 sec, and I am going to flip my camera off and start my screen share. Okay, just going to make this a little bit bigger for everyone. Awesome. Okay, Rebecca, just hop on and unmute if anything goes astray. I'm just going to make this even a little bit more bigger for all of you.
Looks great from this end.
Awesome. Thank you. I always worry about it. It's like the question of like the 2000s. Can you see my screen? So depending on your organization and what programs, et cetera, that you offer, you might need to create specific policies for your classes, your camps, even travel teams or competition teams. With Jackrabbit, your policies are very, very flexible in the sense that it's not just a one and done situation. You can add different policies, like I just said earlier, to different classes, different groups, and even if you wanted to break it down into different categories. So the very first thing, so I'm just going to go basically from start to finish. So where you're going to find your policies. Actually, the first thing I want to bring your attention to is just my little announcement I put on my dashboard. This is just a little tip. If you update your policies for your families, we recommend that you also let your staff know, just so that they are aware of everything that is going on within your organization. So I just put a little announcement right here on my dashboard that all policies have been updated. Please go to the gear settings policies to familiarize yourself. So I'm going to come here to my gear under settings, and right here we have your policies tab. So you'll see right here across the very top, I've got policies, and then we've got policy groups. So policies, we kind of almost, I think of them in my mind anyhow, as like, these are my different clauses. So these are all the different possible policies, legalese that I may want to assign to any of my classes, any of my groups that I might have. And then the next tab up top, you will see policy groups. So my policy groups, you will see I've got different numbers of policies right here. So each policy group has some and or all of these policy clauses assigned to them. And just one note as well, anything that you see in my policies, I'm just copy and pasting lists from different things. We do recommend that you speak to either your own insurance carrier or your legal counsel before doing policies. So do not take anything that you see right on my screen as what we recommend at Jackrabbit. This is just to show you how you can add them and what you can do. So right here, oopsie. So right here under my policies, if I wanted to add a new policy, I can come here and I just click on the green plus mark. And I'm just going to just title this new policy. This is just how easy I can do it. I'm just going to say demo. And then I'm just going to say welcome email. And then it is just as simple as that. If I want to just point out blank, add a new policy, and then I'm just going to click on my save changes. And then you can see it's right here. And then you'll notice under policy groups, right now it has not been assigned to any of my policy groups. Whoopsies, which are right here. And as well, it has not been assigned to any classes. And then the last column that you will see are previous versions. So that is if I had gone in and updated a policy, you can always come back to see your previous versions in case you wanted to see what was updated and what wasn't. So just one second. So once you have your policy added within Jackrabbit, then you want to come here to your policy groups. You may want to add a new policy group, or you can even go in and add that new policy to an existing group. So I'm just going to come right here to the summer 2023 session. So if I click on this one, this is my most current session. So you can see right now I have 5 policies, excuse me, that are assigned to this policy group. So if I wanted to go in and add the one that I just made, all I need to do is add a policy to this group right here. So once I click on this, and then you'll notice I get this modal pop up here. And then if I click on new policy, and then if I had other policies that I wanted to add as well, you can add multiple at once. And then I would just click on add to group, or if there was a new policy that I may have missed that I needed to add it, I could always add that from here as well. But you'll just see right here now, it is on this new, right here. My new policy, sorry, is under my summer 2023 session of groups. And then you can see literally it was just modified at 12:14 today. I'm just going to come back here for a moment. Oopsies. So you can see automatically this new policy is with one group. If I want to see what group it is assigned to, I can see it's on that one. You'll notice down here, for example, my photo and video release, that is assigned to 5 different groups. So I can't actually do anything or take any actions from here, but it lets me see that. And then if I needed to get over to it, I could. And then as well, it does give me the list of classes. And again, like I just said, about the previous version. So a couple of things to note about your policy groups is that you can have up to 30. And your policy groups can be created to require parent portal agreement even without a new enrollment. So like I said, if I go in and I update a policy at all, it's going to trigger parents to have to go in and re-agree to my latest version. You're able to reorder the policies within a group. You can just drag and drop. I'll just show you that really quickly here. So if I wanted this one to say be first, I can just literally click down. I'm holding my mouse, my left there, and then I can just drag and drop. That way, if there's something that you want parents to see the very first policy when they log in to either their online registration or if they log into the parent portal, you can go ahead and decide which one. You can update and remove your groups as often or as little as you like. We do recommend that you at least take a look at your policies. Maybe you only have one policy for all of your classes, but at least go into that once every 12 months, especially if you're running different sessions, different seasons. A policy group name, it is limited to 60 characters. I'm more of a less is more, more is less type of person. So I try to keep things as simple as I can. So that way parents are going to actually come in and read it. So next, I just want to talk a little bit. Oopsies. I'm notorious for not saving. And I'm just going to just have a quick peek at the chat. Just a seckie. Oh, awesome. Okay. No questions. That's always good. So next, I just want to pretty much like visually show you some of the things that you can do with your policies for your parents that are going to make things a whole lot simpler for you. So right here, you can see I have this one here called my payment policy. So if I click on this, I'm going to be able to see it. So I don't even have a description. That's okay for now. But right here, posting tuition fees. So you can see this. It's kind of, right? If I return, I just want to show you. So then I added a second one so you can see it. Payment policies number 2. So you can put this in the chat if you want, but which one are you more likely to read? This version right here. Everything is exactly the same. So this version right here, or do you think your parents are going to look and pay attention to this version right here? As you see it, that is how it is going to show. So for example, if I come here, I can come here to my payment policies. If I want to preview it, just to see what it will look like within my portal or on my online registration page, this is what it looks like. There is also an option to print in case you had somebody come in. So this is this first one. All the verbiage is identical. And then if I preview this one, everything again is the same. So I'm just going to cancel this. I'm just going to click on this one. So just to show you really easily what I did, all I did right here was I changed my font size. I can change my text color. I can change my highlight color. This lets you bold, italicize, and even if you want it, I don't have a link at it, but even if you wanted to add a link. So for example, if you maybe have a student handbook that you want parents to have to go in and read, you can put that right in their policies, and they have it there. They're going to agree to read the handbook, and the handbook is right there for them. You may be wondering how they can get to that, and I will tell you that in just a little bit. So it's going to return out of this. Where I just showed that. I just want to check the chat. Where would the handbook? It would need actually to be an actual link. So for example, like you could upload it to Google Drive. That is what I would do personally. Yeah, and then you could just link it right in there for the families. Yes, it is so much easier. Yes, the colors do actually, they visually help a lot. But let's not get too excited, because you can actually create your policies in Word. You can create your policies in, I did what I'm going to show you right now. I actually just did it in a Google Doc, and you can create them, and the fonts, everything that you have in that Google Doc is going to roll over. So I'm just going to click on this one here. So I'll just click right into it. So this here, before the blue bar, is exactly the same as what's down in the blue bar, but you will notice that my font is different. I've actually added bullets, which yes, you can do here, but the font that I selected in my Google Doc, it does copy and paste into here. So the Jackrabbit font is a standard size. You can still bold, italicize, and highlight. You can still use your bullets. You can do like add links, like I just was talking about there. Right here in this one, I do have a link at it. I would say it'd be best to type everything out and then highlight everything that you want to make. With Jackrabbit, when you do create your policy, the font size default is 12 points. Me personally, I'm older. I like it a little bit bigger, but just remember, if you want it to really, really jazz, Bethany is our policy guru here, and she calls it make your policy sexy. But if you wanted to go ahead and, change up the font from this font right here, you could come in here, you can do it. So you can see I've got one font here and I've got a different font here. And this is actually, might be a little bit hard to tell on the screen, but this font and this font are actually two different fonts. I'm just going to return out of that and just double check the chat again. Awesome. Okay. So you may remember when I added this new policy to my policy group, it was automatically added to these 36 classes. Well, let's just say, for example, you are coming in fresh out of the gate and you are creating classes, you're creating policies. What do you do to add them? It is so simple within Jackrabbit. So if we come to classes and come to your all classes, so you can see right now, my default grid, it's actually just set up to only show my active summer session. I'm just going to squeeze this in a little bit so you can see everything. So you can see all of my summer classes have this summer session. So just note that I did just add that new policy, my demo policy, to my summer 2023 session. So what does that mean for families? Next time that they log into the parent portal, they are going to have to agree to that new policy that I just added. Well, let's just say, for example, I wanted to update it and change it out. Let's just say I could come right here and I could say search on my category 1 of cheer. Now only my cheer classes are showing. If I come here, I could easily remove that policy group from all of these classes. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to remove it just so that you can see how easy it is done. And then I'm just going to refresh my grid here. So you can see right now, this column is empty. So I'm just going to move this column over for you guys just so it's in the middle of your screen. So right now you can see this is empty. And then I can still come here to my 3 dots. And I can click on add policy group. And then you'll see, so we have this modal that pops up. If I'm not sure what it's called, I'm actually forgetting, as soon as I click, I can see it. So let's just say all of these were for my fall 2023 classes. I could add that. I'll go back in. I'm going to add it back to my summer session as well. You can add more than one policy group to a set of classes. And then I'm just going to click on add. And then again, I'm just going to refresh. So watch, it's this row right here. So now you'll see automatically my 2023-24 session and my fall 2023 session policy groups have been added to these classes. So it is really, really that simple to either add or remove your policy groups. Just remember, anytime that you do come in and make any kind of an edit at all, that is going to require parents to have to come back in and re-agree to that most updated version of either your policy or your policy group if you make a change to your group in general. And then next, I'm just going to check the chat again really quickly here. Awesome. Just a sec, everybody. The next thing we want to talk about just really, really briefly are your user permissions. If you are currently logged into Jackrabbit and you come under the gear and you cannot see the policies, it may be permission related. And there are two that you are going to want to have a look out for. So under your gear settings, users and permissions, and I'm just going to go right here to Christine, click on their permissions. And I'm just going to type in, oopsies. Right here. So if I click in, just in case anybody wasn't aware of these boxes at the top on your permissions, you can search in, you can type in any word at all, it's going to come up. But there are two when it comes to your apologies. Managing the policies is one permission, and to be able to view and assign policies. So you may have a front desk person that you want, give them the ability to either read the policies, have access to them, or even assign them to classes, but you do not want them to be able to create the policies. So this is why there are two different ones lined out here for you. Just going to turn out of this and come back to my home screen. So next, I'm just going to come to, first I'm going to come to my all families grid. So you'll notice I have right here, my visuals are on my default. My default on my all families grid are all of my active families. But you will notice all of my current active families, all 25 of them, have not agreed to all active policies. And that is because I literally just 10 minutes ago changed all of those policies up. So that is why that just lets me know. So I wanted to actually just click on this. Let's just say it even maybe only had like 3 or 4 people. I could come in here. I can easily click on that visual, click the send message icon, and then send them either an email, push notification, or a text message to just be like, hey, we've updated our policies. Please go and log into the portal and re-agree. And then next, I'm just going to come here to my go-to family. So right here, now you will notice that on our tabs, the very last tab is my policies tab. Oopsie, sorry about that. So you can see right here. So I've only got right here. I can click to show only policies that need agreement. So it's just these.
Marie,
yep.
We're still seeing the all families page.
Huh. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Think it's because I got a new window. So I'm going to have to stop my share. Thank you for letting me know, babe. Ooh. Yes, share this. Whoopsies. I'm just going to say. This window. Okay, you should be able to see them there now.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Rebecca. This is why I need people on in the background to have my back. Okay, so when I first started off, I was here on the summary tab for my family. And then right here, so these are all your different tabs. Remember, your tabs in Jackrabbit, it's like where the information is stored, where you need to see things. Your buttons, those are more actionable things that you're going to want to do. But right here, I can easily see my policies right here. There is this button here to show only policies that need agreement. I could click on that. So now I can easily see which ones that this family have not agreed to. But then as well, so I check this one. So if I come down here, I can see that I agree to this policy on May the 25th. If I needed to view the policy, I can do from here. We do have this like little orange needs agreement alert here and here. So again, this is, nothing with this family. It's just that I literally just updated these policies. So the next time I log into my portal, I am going to have to automatically agree to all of those. Just another sec. Oh, okay. Let's just double check in the chat there. One question, and that does come up from time to time. Let's just say, for example, I'm just going to go back to this family right here. So you'll notice that my students are in a whole slew of classes right here. They only need to agree to that one policy one time. So for example, I've got in my Little Warriors, I've got my summer session of policies added. And then also in my group tumbling, I've got the same set of policies added. I do not need to agree to each one of those every single time. There is a setting in under the parent portal that I'm going to show you shortly that does ask you to have an agreement for each enrollment. But if you do not have that checked, they only actually need to agree to that one set of policies, just that one time. And same thing if they are updated, they just need to agree to the policy that's been updated, not your entire group. And then before I move out of here, I just want to mention that if any of you are using the lead file, when a family is archived, their policy agreement history is retained, but it's not visible. So if I were to archive this family and then restore them, the policies are not going to show up right here under my policies tab. But if I come to my miscellaneous tab right here, and then I click the view registrations, I can see all of my different agreements from like on this family way back, all the way back to like 2020 when I first got this database. So that just gives you a way in case you are, sending people to the lead file and restoring them, that there is still a way to see that. Families can also still see that in their emails and agreements in their parent portal. Just trying to think. There's something. Oh, I know. Right here, under my gear settings, parent portal. Under my parent portal settings, there is a setting right here that says require policy agreement for each enrollment. So that is not just as a family or as a student, but if I've got a student and I'm registering them for 6 classes, they are, even if it's the same policy group, they are going to have to re-agree every single time. You may or may not want this, but it may, just frustrate parents a little bit that every time they're registering, they're having to re-agree to the same set of policies. And again, just remember that all of the agreements do stay on that policies tab unless people have been sent to the lead file. And even if you restore them, you can still see it under that miscellaneous tab. Just wanted to come back here. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, which I did not go over earlier, is that you can actually have a set of default policies. So what that means is sometimes on your online registration form, I'm just going to click on my settings here. You may have your class enrollment set to either optional. You may have it hidden altogether. You may have it as required. If it is required, any policies that are assigned to any classes when people enroll, those are the policies that they are going to have to agree to. But right now, you'll see that mine right now is set as optional. So if I click on my form, which I'm hoping you guys can see because I think I fixed that issue. So before I even register into a class, I do have a set of default policies selected. So if people enroll or do not enroll, they are going to have to agree to these policies. As soon as I select a class, then let's just say it was a class that had the 2023 summer session, those policies will have to be agreed to. And then as well,
Marie, we can't see that form. We're still seeing the online registration settings page.
It's the pop-ups that are
Totally.
throwing me off. Okay, hold on one second. Thank you. Okay, so I gotta stop. I gotta start. There. Okay, so this is the online registration form right here. So like I just said, I have my setting set to optional. So whether or not I enroll, into a class, automatically, these are my default policies. I'll get back to those in just a sec to show you where to add them. So I've got these 3 that are right here. As soon as I enroll into a class, if I were to enroll into a class for that summer session, I'm going to have to agree to those. Let me just see, how quick can I do this? Show you. I can't enroll into a class unless I enter my students. Oh, and I need her birth date in there. Which this is another pop-up, so you're not going to see it, but I'm going to enroll them into a class that does have summer 2023. So right now you can see I've got that class selected, and now you can see, remember before I only had 3, it automatically updates it. So I now need to agree to all the policies that are associated with this class. Love this. Okay, now I'm going to stop sharing my screen again and reshare my window. Yes, right window. So the last thing to show you is those default policies. So right here under your settings, policies, on my policies group tab, it says, is there a default policy group that parents should agree to even when there is no class enrollment? If you do not select anything here and people do not enroll into a class, they are not going to have to agree to any policies. But then mine, I made a policy group called default policies, and that is what I added. But again, I could have none selected, or I could, change it up to anything. So it might even be, the 2023, 2024 session group of policies that I just created. Maybe everybody enrolling, whether or not they enroll into a class, but they enroll into your organization coming up, they are going to have to agree to those. Okay, so I'm just going to check the chat again. Okay, Mary asks, she said, I might have missed it if you covered it, but default policy will only kick in when registering, but not enrolling in a class that has its own policies. Exactly. So if you have a lot of people do have enrollment turned off on their registration form. So if you have enrollment turned off, and even if they're just registering, that's why you might want to have that like default policy group. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so let me just quickly check the chat. Rebecca, is there anything you think I might have missed?
The only thing that I always love to point out is the under classes, all classes, and how you can check very quickly if there's no policies attached to the classes.
So right here.
We get lots of questions and support on that, and a customer will not agree to a policy and they don't know why, and it's because there's actually no policies attached to the classes. So
yeah,
when you go to this filter drawer, that's a handy little tool.
Yeah. Up here, if you're not sure where to go, and click on policies. Mine is not going to bring anything up, I'm pretty sure. But right here, you can click on only show classes without policy groups. And I'm not going to have any, but if I did, they would be here. And then if I need it, okay, actually, I'm going to do this. Hold on a second. So if I did remove policy groups, I'm going to just remove them from all of them. And then I came up here under my policies. If I wanted to only show classes without a policy group, so maybe, I just went in and I added a couple of classes and I wasn't, totally sure, but you can see right here out of these, I've got that are active in my summer session because that is my default filter that I have. So watch this. If I uncheck this will be anyone in any of my sessions. So you can see right here, right now it's showing fall. that does not have a policy group assigned. They're all going to pull in. And then if I wanted to add it to all of those, it's just nice and quick and simple. And just add that one, add, and then refresh it, and you will see it right here. There. Well, sorry. Now nothing is going to show up because I've still got this filter turned on. Okay, just checking the chat. Okay, so that is it. Not a whole lot of questions on this one. One thing, though, that I do want to let everybody know about is that we do actually have a webinar coming up with people from our marketing team. And it gives you just a little bit more insight on to what you might want to add, not add to your legalese. They're bringing in somebody to talk about that. So I'm just going to share. There it is. So right here. So now in the bottom left-hand side of your screen, a little pop-up should have come up. It says common legal contracts and what you're likely missing. So it's in collaboration with Jack and a Jim lawyer. And you can join that if you have any specific questions that you might want to kind of check out. And all you need to do is just click on that Save My Spot, and then you'll be able to register for that. And that is next Wednesday on the 21st. Same time, same place, same platform, just different people, but it's more about the legalities of your policy. So if you wanted to ask any questions, oh, wait, no.
Mary just popped a question in chat. I'm just trying to process through it.
Yeah, she asked if a default policy group has a policy that's not included in a policy group attached to a class, will that policy be included? Okay, so I think I've got this right in my mind. If I've got this totally wrong, Mary, just let me know. So let's just say, for example, I've got this policy group. This default policies, enrollment, no enrollment, they are going to show. So you'll remember mine, when I showed my online registration form, only had 3 policies. But then I added this one. Okay. So right here, I can see my 3 policies that are here. So signature, payment policies, photo, and video release, right? If I click here, emergency medication, new policy. So consent, payment policies to photo release. So that is in this one. So it's not going.
Yeah, can't see the screen, buddy. Sorry.
Oh, that's because I started sharing. Sorry. Oh, mercy me. Just 1 second. Okay, because you'll want to see this. Okay, so default policies right here. So I can see these 3 that are here. So my consent policy, my payment policies too, my photo and video release. They are going to be there because that's what I have set up in my default group. Once I select a class, these policies are also going to show, but just notice payment policies to photo and video release. It's not going to come up twice, but those will still show, as well as now my consent to electronic signature and my emergency medication. Does that answer your question, Mary? Just give us a thumbs up. I think that's what you were asking. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Yay. Why? I should just keep sharing my screen. Let me just double check. I don't think I missed any questions, Rebecca. No. Yes.
Nope. We got a quiet group today. Oh, we have one that just came in.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Photo and video release. What I recommend people to do, Rebecca might have a different workaround, is that I have a photo and video release clause, policy clause, telling people that they have to add it in their user defined field, yes or no, if they agree to a photo release. And then that way I can keep track of that. A lot of people as well, if somebody is not wanting their photo share, they will add that in roll notes. And some people even add it in brackets or parentheses after the student's name, just so that instructors are aware as soon as they see them right away. It's nice and visible. Is it possible to have more than one registration form with different policies? No, there is not. Can you guys manually enroll them? Yeah. So even if you manually enroll students into a class, like if I were to come here now and type, I don't know, let's see if I got a Smith family. I do. So if I were to come here and enroll the student into a class, oopsies, the student into a class, the next time my parent logs in to the portal, they are going to have to agree to the policies. So trials, you could add that to a default group because you have people coming in that way, because people can only register for a trial if you're allowing them online through the online registration form. Carolyn, how to lock your preferred group view? I know it's unrelated. No problem. This is easy breezy. So I'm going to come to my classes, all classes. I keep mine set to just my active or all of my classes. So you'll see right here in this, we call this the breadcrumb bar. It's automatically here. If I wanted to just remove this filter and have my default view to be for every single session that I have going on right now, I just need to come to favorites. Oh, sorry. Save as a favorite. And right automatically you see my all classes default. And I mean, I could change that name and call it new default. Oopsie. And then set as my default right here. So I can either turn this on or turn it off. And same thing with share with your team. If you want your other users to be able to see it, some people only want their own default view for themselves. And then just click save. So, and then now if I were to go home, then come back to my all classes. So remember before only that summer session showed up, but now this is my default view to show every one of my classes. Okay, sure. Ruben, awesome question. Anytime you make a change at all to your policies, parents are going to have to re-agree to the latest version. But under the gear, and I might have missed this actually, under the gear policies, let's just say your policies, they're all good. You don't need anything done. You're not updating, you're not adding anything, but it's, you know, I always use September because I'm more of a school year person. Let's just say you're, you know, starting a new session in September and you just need everybody to re-agree again because you want that re-agreement those every 12 months. You can just click right here. So just right under your policies tab, those three dots, and then require re-agreement. So that forces families to have to re-agree even if you do not actually go in and update your policy. But as soon as you update your policy, your families do have to re-agree. I missed Lori's question. I see the answer. Oh, okay, you got it. Yeah, and it's the same thing right here. This is where you can print. So if I were to click on print, which you probably can't see because it's a pop-up, but it just lets me print out the policies, and then I could just have them physically sign it right at my location. Okay, so I'm just going to close this out. Okay, everybody. Well, that is it for everything on policies. Like I said, if you want some more information, please reach out and join that webinar next week as well. It's a little bit of different information. It's not like how to set them up in Jackrabbit or the functioning of them within Jackrabbit, but I really do think you might get a lot of value out of that. And remember, we recommend you at least update your policies once a year if you can. That is it. If you need to reach out to us, you can always shoot us a message or reach out online. And for more webinars, you can always go to our Jackrabbit website, jackrabbitclass.com/support/webinars. And all of the monthly webinars, they are all housed there right on that page. If you join late or want to share this with a coworker, an email will be sent out to you at the end of the week with a link to the recording. And that is it, everybody. Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And I will see you all in a few weeks. Bye.